Seriously, who's got that squeaky chair?
It's not me.
Chris, is that your chair?
No, it better not be this chair. This thing is super sweet.
Brian, you might need to lubricate your chair. I don't know what kind of stuff you might have.
He works for Napa. He has all of the fluids available. So, whatever. Jeff, start the show.
All right, let's go. Let's do this thing. Welcome to Everyone Racers. How do we get there? There we go. A podcast designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
Sorry, Jeff's first show.
Whatever kind of Lachamp or track dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate, even if you have a squeaky chair. We even think you Drifto Hella Flush guys are, right? As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of low buck racing, and if you can handle it, Chrissy will give you just the tip. I'll be your pit marshal. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Mental.
And we are
Jeff.
Everyone Racers. Thanks for coming back and listening to another 100-proof episode of our podcast. Welcome to episode 29. Let's get this shindig started with what you working on. Chris, go first.
I've installed about 400 square foot of hardwood flooring in the house. It's been fun. Yep.
Only 400? No, it's more than that.
No, it's probably still about 400. If you've been to our house, it's the entire length of and width of the room from the kitchen cabinets all the way to the fireplace, and then about half of the other part of the L-shaped living room there. And I'm working my way around almost the whole first floor. Hi, Mental.
Really want to talk inside baseball? For those that have been to my house, come on.
Well, I mean,
the percentage of our listeners.
That's what I was going to say. We have about 28 listeners. Right. Probably 14 of them have been to the house.
Right.
Including 6 members of Chrissy's family.
Exactly. Mental.
There you go. That's true.
So I've got almost all of my eBay cheapo Chinese bobber parts in, so I've been working on that. My annual cadet ball was this past Saturday, and most importantly, I finalized my travel to NJMP for that's right, National Effing Championship team, the 3-pedal Mafia running lemons at New Jersey.
Speaking
and
of,
then I finished.
We have to pay.
Right.
We have to pay this weekend. Everyone who's going running NJMP, payment deadline this weekend. News and notes.
They keep telling
Thanks.
you like every day.
Notes.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's not really news and notes. I was just saying that's a good thing for news and notes.
Sorry.
Mental, is that
Right.
it?
Keep going. And then, then I finished up my MSF level, my Motorsports Safety Foundation level 1, and I'm working on my level 2. There's a great article on roadandtrack.com by Jack Baruth talking about what you can expect. They're trying to standardize high performance driver education and make it safer for our sport. Chris?
Well, we talked about this 2 weeks ago.
The last couple shows.
With JG.
Yeah.
And so I went and looked at the website. So I guess level 1 is just an online class you take. That's it. Level 2 is an in-person thing, and so there's none near me, sadly. But it's just interesting to know what it is. That's all.
Yeah, well, and Hooked on Driving is really the only company that has grabbed it and ran with it. I'm surprised PCA hasn't done it because it's a very similar curriculum. So yeah, it looks like it's not that expensive actually, but I am going to have to travel out to Sonoma.
Oh
gosh darn.
Oh, the horrors.
Yeah.
And now if I remember reading the story, we read the story a bunch of years ago, a bunch of months ago. Level 1 was like an online deal and level 2 was in person. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What did
Excellent.
I just say?
I'm sorry, I was talking to my son.
Come on. Did you listen to the show?
I was talking to my son.
We don't listen to each other, obviously.
Sorry, I had my 9-year-old with me. I had to send him out to get my power cord. So.
Okay, so
Chrissy, what are you working on?
To begin the flooring project, I pulled up a whole lot of linoleum and subfloor, and I found a good way to do it, which made it go very quickly, which was awesome. And then I sanded, primed, and painted some doors and trim because they were ugly green, and I wanted them to be a nice color, white. But the space is looking awesome. It's just coming together, and we were in a space where we didn't do a whole lot for a while, and then we just knew that the whole house was going to have to come apart and to get this started. So it's all good.
Awesome. I guess that leaves me, right?
Yeah.
Mental, you
go, Jeff.
Yep.
Well, no, go, Jeff.
So last week I know we discussed I'm putting together the IKEA furniture that I'm building for Josh's hidey hole. Josh, the 9-year-old son, is sitting right next to me, promising to be quiet. So if you hear some extra little giggling, that's okay.
Ensuring that we're not going to get an E on tonight's episode.
That's true. So I've been painting and putting together the IKEA furniture because some of it was unfinished. And last weekend, every bloody second of my life was taken by my father's rally weekend.
We saw that. I saw that on the gram and on the Facebook.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't remember, my father in his mid-70s is a TSD rallyist. He is not only a TSD rallyist, and everybody's going, oh, what the heck is a TSD rallyist? We'll explain that in a moment. He is a nationally competitive TSD rallyist, and he was holding a national double weekend. So literally 20,000 miles on his car, scoping out and hyper accurately measuring 350 or so miles of roads, looping, logic puzzles. TSD is time, speed, distance rally, travel a specific route at a specific speed, reach a specific place at a specific time, penalized for being early or late, and it snowed like snowpocalypse, whatever we called it. What was it? Mental last week we called it the bomb cyclone. Cyclone. It tore down a lot of trees, so every morning I was on the road at 7 a.m. Checking roads, pulling out tree branches. There was a decent amount of dirt, so the dirt roads were not cleared. So yeah, that's what I was doing all weekend long.
I think we need to have a show about TSC rally sometime.
Yeah, I think we
probably
should.
need to. Yeah. One of my favorite things I had to do this weekend is obscure a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. Because if the rallyists saw it, they would have gone the wrong direction. It totally would have destroyed, everybody would have been lost. So
I hate that.
We've
done that.
Yeah. I took a paper plate and I literally covered the 5 to make sure nobody would use it.
Did you get out of the scissor door Lamborghini wearing your spandex when you obscured that 50-mile-an-hour?
No. I jumped out of the totally beat up my father's hooned to your dad Mazda 3.
I'm so happy that Chris and Brian got that joke.
Who wouldn't get that joke? Even Chrissy got it.
No, it's a movie she didn't see.
And she's been on one lap now.
Sorry.
It's all right.
All right,
Mental,
so, as I mentioned, Brian, folks, tonight we have another guest. With us tonight is Brian Medford, the former editor over at Auto Trader Classics. He's now a freelancer, edits the Napa Know-How blog. He is the treasurer of the Greater Atlanta Automotive Media Association. He's a long-standing board guy over at the GRM forums, which everyone should be over there, and a genuinely, seriously hardcore nerd. Now, unlike us, he's not a racer or a performance guy.
Is he a nerd or is he a car nerd?
Brian.
Car nerd. Well, wait a minute. My gamer headphones here. My stack of video games up above me. Probably a nerd.
Only just because you missed that word, so I just thought that is kind of helpful. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, too. And I was going to say, you say car nerd, because what's in your garage right now, Brian?
Oh, let's see. 1969 Olds Delta 88 convertible, 1975 Plymouth Duster, 1973 Honda XL175, and to top it off, the 1999 Chevy Metro 3-cylinder with a stick.
Nice.
Excellent.
Oh.
So what else?
1 liter of fury.
Yes.
He is a number crunching auto geek. And so last year at the Atlanta Automotive Show, I watched him and a half dozen of the other guys. They weren't over there marveling over the Camaro ZL1. They weren't freaking out about the new supercharged. There was him and 5 other folks that were all like, holy crap, look at the back seat room of the Chevy Bolt. And they got the tallest guy they have, who's like 6'4", and made him sit up front. They're like, oh my God, I could get in and out of this thing. This is really cool. And then last week, I watched him crawl under a new 2019 Dodge Ram and marvel at the accordion octagon frame made of high tensile steel that he had a huge, long conversation with the designer, because he was the only one who understood what the guy said when he said high tensile steel. And so we're going to be talking about new cars tonight. And I thought, you know who knows new cars? Brian. So we brought him on board. So you're going to get the straight note tonight, folks.
Hi.
So I guess that comes down to, now that we know who you are, Brian, what you working on?
Well, this week I've actually been resurrecting free lawnmowers that I keep picking up on the side of the road to pass off to my father-in-law, who seems to kill them with great
I was going to
regularity.
say, how many lawnmowers can you have and use at the same time?
He goes to about because he uses them as brush cutters. So
Oh,
See,
you just get him a brush cutter.
I was
Yeah,
imagining
no.
hooking several up like to a cart as a chariot kind
That's
of thing
what I was
with
thinking.
self-propelled mowers. I don't know.
he kills them one at a time.
Okay.
That's why I don't buy them for him anymore.
It's funny. I use mine as rock cutters. They don't work that well. I go through like 4 sets of blades a year.
Yep.
I've used Jeff's as a pool cover cutter.
That's
it works
true.
very well.
And for wheelies.
I use mine to pull cars in and out of the garage because I have a riding tractor.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you go.
Mine is riding tractor also.
Chris
Excellent.
just uses me.
I think we were working on the Rolls Royce that weekend, right? I can't remember what it was. Was it Rolls Royce weekend at my house? I can't
No.
remember. We were all wrenching, and
It was
Chrissy's
cold
like, "Can I mow the lawn? I want to ride the lawnmower tractor." I'm like, "Hell yeah! Somebody wants to mow my lawn, go right ahead."
Nothing
back
I'd rather
like
do than whitewash a fence.
Yeah. She comes back like an hour later going, I think I hit your pool cup.
Sorry. That was the only damage I did.
No, it was fine. It
All
was
right.
really fine.
So,
Anyway,
Brian, what else are you working on aside from mower repair?
Well, I'm rewrapping the wiring harness in the Metro. Apparently, it's sometime around the 5th owner or so. Somebody decided to customize the wiring harness, and there's some mysterious electrical faults going on. So I've been tirelessly tracing the wiring harness system through the whole car, and now I got to put it all back together and see if it runs.
That sounds
That sounds
terrible.
like a sad game.
Hell,
Wow.
it's hell.
Oh.
I'm doing my taxes.
Three-cylinder Metro. How many? I mean, it can't be much more than a 6-cylinder Chevy. I mean, it can't be. It's not like Chris and Chrissy's AMG Mercedes level of wiring.
No, it's fairly simple. It's just that it seems to have been wired by people who didn't care about it ever being fixed again. None of the wiring
What?
harness
A Geo
diagrams.
Metro owner? No.
I know. None of the wiring harness diagrams for that year actually match the colors used in the car.
Oh, even better.
Add the new challenge.
I think we discussed that in the last show that we were on.
Yeah.
So,
Excellent.
so it's really just me and a voltmeter and time is what it is.
That's sad. I'm
It's sad.
sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
All
on
right,
that-
news
on
and
that
notes
depressing
time.
note, news and notes.
Get this. Grid girls are back in the news. They just can't go away. So we found an
Or
article.
they could. You won't let them.
Well, they did go away, and I just keep finding articles, I suppose. But at least one of them, there's an article about one of them who said that they didn't want to be there just to be cute. The girls were there because the drivers didn't want to schmooze, so the girls did it. They were called themselves saleswomen. That's an interesting concept. So they supported the brand by posing for photos with fans. And there's a quote from the one girl that says, I absolutely loved it. You want me to wear a super comfortable outfit and go into VIP areas and watch what I was already going to pay to watch? Yeah, it's fine by me. It was a dream job. So
I don't believe for a second a woman in thigh-high,
Uh-huh.
2-inch platform boots and spandex
Yep.
is super comfortable.
And she
But
probably doesn't eat anything, so she doesn't look sure she looks great in
Yeah.
her super skin tight. Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
I'd like to know the conversion ratio of grid girl to driver wife to see where that lands.
Oh.
Wait, do you mean in
really?
actuality or in their dreams?
Yes.
I bet there's an actual
streams?
trackable amount there.
And I
Good
bet
call.
that number is 0.
We have not.
No. I bet that number is a lot harder than the BS that F1 was plugging, that they get into actual racing and end up getting actual racing jobs
Yes,
Yeah,
after
yeah,
standing
yeah,
around
yeah.
to
there's
spend.
that.
More of them
Yeah.
have married drivers than ever became drivers.
Bingo.
Yeah. No, not saying it's any better, but thinking about it when it's coming down to marketing and money, it's probably why they were around. So
Okay.
There it is. Absolutely. We all knew it was about marketing. Speaking of marketing, I do want to bring up the story that I brought up last week, the tragic death of the woman in Arizona, thanks to her name was Elaine Hertzberg, and she was killed by the Uber. She was the pedestrian killed by the Uber. There are two excellent articles that everyone should read by internet famous cross-country record holder Citroen SM devotee and three-wheel car driver Alex Roy. He wrote 2 stories in 24 hours right after the Uber autonomous car struck and killed a pedestrian in Tempe. One of them is Elaine Herzig's death isn't Uber's tragedy, it is ours, and it is all about how that this death will turn into the death of the autonomous car, and it's not the autonomous car's fault, and it really isn't the driver's fault, and we're all going to overreact. And yes, I hate autonomous cars, but let's not overreact.
Oh, it's not going to be the death of it because there's too much money in it.
Yeah. Well, then 24 hours later, and he totally was saying that it's not Uber's fault. 24 hours later, he wrote another article. These are both on the drive. We'll put both in the show notes. Disgraceful dash cam video proves Uber is totally to blame. So he put out an article saying that Uber's not to blame and this is not the autonomous car's fault. 24 hours later, oh wait, I've seen the video. It's totally the autonomous car's fault.
You mean someone online jumped to a conclusion without all of the evidence?
I think it's worse than that. I think he's right in both cases, and people are going to overreact. But everything that they were worried about actually happened in this case. Yeah. And like I said, everyone can read the articles. They're kind of long, but basically he puts it down in 8 different ways. Uber is guilty of killing her. Uber's hardwire and softwire failed. Many people at Uber need to be fired. The Arizona officials who greenlight the testing need to resign. 1 or more people need to be prosecuted. The SAE automatic classification system is vague and unsafe. And Uber is the Thanos of self-driving.
Jeff, yeah, don't care.
I'm going to get there.
You lost us and I don't care still.
Like halfway through this whole story, I stopped caring.
Let's talk Sonoma.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's talk Sonoma.
Sonoma had a race.
Read the stories, those who care.
We'll post them. I realized that I only did the couple things that I found easily on the internet, and I am unable to find any more updates. So I know that Anton won Class C, and Overzet with a bunch of kids that came out to help his car won Judge's Choice, and Eyesore came in second. Anybody know any more than that? Because I'm just trying to find it.
I do. There was a lot of carnage at this race. Team Tiny Vet had the Roto-Rooter Brown Note RX-7, and they say that it didn't roll, but it really looks like it did roll. The transmission tunnel was twisted like a paper towel. The hood ornament was covered in mud. They said it just hit the wall, but I don't know. It sure as heck looks like a roll to me. Car is totally written off. Bernal dads who have a 245 Volvo wagon went right into the wall with some lift oversteer. They say that the car is a total loss. And
absolutely,
the video.
It wasn't a video. I think it was like 6 pics to put together.
Yeah, no, they have a video. There's also a mostly red 5 Series from some team. I don't know who it was, but they hit the wall. And the motor ripped straight out of the BMW.
Get out.
So that one is totally destroyed also.
Wow.
So the thing about the kids all helping with that, I think it's a high school shop class.
Yeah.
Because they've talked about it. So I've got my high school shop teacher this close. He's already got the truck picked out and how we're going to race it. And then the kids are going to get extra credit. And there's going to be 3 of us at our school. They're going to drive and not have to wrench. It is going to be glorious. And we're gonna sell it all as a work study program.
That's a picture
slave
of,
labor.
Picture of
that's a picture of the BMW.
Hey, and honestly, what better way to train kids for the disappointments of life than endurance racing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Team Tiny Vet quoted, "It looks like someone tossed a hand grenade into the engine compartment."
Mm-hmm.
So all 3 of those cars, total write-off, never to race again.
It's a good place to go racing and not get any go high performance driving and not get any carnage.
Extreme Experience. I know that because they put you in the driver's seat of some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks coast to coast with no speed limits and no shifting restrictions and no governors. Head to xxspeed.com to choose your supercar, find a racetrack near you, and start making a story of your own. There are 7 models of exotic cars and supercars to choose from. 20-plus tracks in a year-round location in Nolans with a 3,200-foot straightaway, a pro instructor like me, Mental, or Jeff in the car with you, helping to explore the car's limits and learn to drive the racing line. Save 25% when you use the code EveryoneRacers, no spaces, at xxspeed.com to book today. Extreme experience, it's your turn.
Awesome. Really quick, I want to put in a plug for the Untitled Car Show. For those of you who do not listen to the Untitled Car Show, the guest this week was all four of us from
and they still regret
from
it.
Everyone Racers.
He still regrets it. Took him 2 days to put it up.
Yeah, I believe it just loaded today. I listened today. It's an hour and 20 minutes long, and it's about us. So I guess that's cool.
I guess it's cool.
No, actually, the Untitled Car Podcast, so it was great. We had a great time. It just kind of felt like this show, but better.
Yeah. It felt like Road Atlanta with no audio issues. It was a great time. Now, and Ike's a great guy, and genuinely, you should be listening to that show. He has really good, interesting guests on there,
including us. There you go.
Exactly.
I do feel slightly bad, but not really.
we took over the show just a bit.
No way. We would do that. I can't imagine the four of us
No one to
dominating
really
a conversation. I don't understand.
I don't know who listens to the show, but I know who listens to this show. Chrissy's mom, right? Hi, Chrissy's mom. I'm
Hi.
this week.
All right,
Chrissy,
so
we have some listener feedback.
We have some listener feedback. Nick H. from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He said that he's one of our Baker's Dozens or so loyal listeners. He gave us a five-star review in our early days in 2017, which I thought was crazy and great. And he said, great host, interesting content, and funny. So he's going to be at the Lemons Joliet race. And so we sent him a sticker. And thank you to Nick. He said he was also hanging out with Mental, and we went back and forth on email a couple times. So, hey, Nick.
Awesome.
Howdy,
Hi, Nick.
Thanks.
We're glad you're here.
Absolutely.
Buddy.
So, as we plugged a little earlier, this is the new car discussion show. It is car show time in many of our regions. So many people have been to some of the major car shows. Mental, you just mentioned that you guys where were you? The Greater Atlanta.
Well, it was the Atlanta Auto Show and with the Greater Atlanta Automotive Media Association.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Chrissy, have you been to an auto show yet this season? I know you've got some things going on.
It was the very last weekend of January as we were coming home from Atlantic City, and the last thing we wanted to do was go to the auto show at that point.
Yeah.
We have, though.
We have absolutely many times.
Yeah. I'm going to maybe make my son, who's sitting next to me, pretty thrilled right now, but this Friday, Jennifer, Josh, and I will be attending the New York Auto Show.
That's very exciting.
So we're pretty excited. So it's a great time to talk about new cars, bring in our buddy Brian, and I guess the first thing is I'll bring the first question. We'll all try and answer it. That's what will be the format of the show. Is there a new car being introduced that interests you enough to make payments on? Who wants to start it? How about Chris?
All right.
Do any of us have car payments right now?
I have one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
My bank charges such a low interest rate. It's silly not to finance things. Like when it's 1.5%. Why?
Yeah, we didn't pay cash for the NSX.
Right.
Okay. But that kind of cheap financing, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. So
my last three Mazdas 0.0.
Right. So then
Yep.
you extend every payment you can. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So Chris, what are you interested in?
The Jaguar XF Sport Brake.
That's happening.
So sexy.
It's a Jag, and it's a wagon, and it's not an SUV. And
for life, no?
Exactly, it's the hottest. It's only $71,000, which means we're counting on Jaguar's incredible depreciation to bring that to a better range for us, because that's a lot of money for something that depreciates that much. So that's one. And the other thing, would honestly be something I would consider, is the new F-150 diesel, because the prospect of an aluminum body truck, it's not going to rust, with a diesel engine for what I use a tow pig for, it'd probably be just about right.
Enough to get rid of the mighty Yukon?
No, if it got totaled tomorrow. That,
Yeah. None of us are going to buy these things new. We're going to wait 2 or 3 years.
I don't
Absolutely.
know.
Bro, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't
So,
know.
Chris, I don't know what diesels are they putting in those F-150s these
They're
days.
making a new 3-liter V6 diesel, the Power
Ooh,
Stroke
that's-
small diesel.
That's pretty exciting. I'm going to have to definitely check that out.
Yeah.
The last 6.0s were not that great. Brian, you got something on this?
Yeah. Has anybody else noticed that the towing capability of what used to be a quarter ton or a half ton truck has become just monstrous nowadays?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes, the new 1500 Dodge can tow an insane amount of weight. The F-150 you're talking about right now, yeah, 7,000 pounds or 11.4 probably with the right towing package.
Yeah. Like my 3/4 ton Suburban from 03 is officially rated for like 7,400 pounds or something, which it'll do easily.
And we've done more of them.
Well, we've done like 10 with it, but but now you can buy a half ton, comfy riding leather line, cowboy Cadillac that's nice, and that'll tow 11,000 pounds. You're absolutely right, Brian.
Well, I thought my Avalanche 2500 towing 12,750 was a lot, but
With a big
can
block.
that
probably
thing
was.
also
Dodge
rides like
Ram.
a pig.
Right. But that's the difference is your truck, it'll tow 12. It's rated to tow 12, but it has an 8.1 liter massive engine. It's got
this
an
is
ox
so
cart
boring.
suspension.
Let's keep moving. This is boring.
Well, Chrissy,
Chrissy,
why don't you talk then?
I
Because
will talk.
If you talk,
So-
it'll be much more interesting.
That's true.
As
It
always.
is my turn though, so that's fine. So I'm also all over the Sport Brake. So I did a little bit of comparison shopping between the F-Pace and the Sport Brake, and I guess I was looking at the diesel F-Pace, which is kind of fun, but at 180 horsepower to 380 for the Sport Brake, there's no comparison. So I also looked into the Panamera, but the Sport Brake won again. There was some really good comparison of different parameters between the two cars, and the trunk was bigger and everything was just great and better about the Sport Brake. So I went with that, and looks like I'll probably be getting one of those next couple months. So that's
Yeah.
great. No, I'm
Ooh,
just kidding. no. When the
Somebody hit the lottery, yo.
no, right when the Mazda dies, and also I would like an Alfa Romeo Giulietta.
Oh,
So we all want a Julia.
Julia.
No, I don't want a Giulia. I want a Giulietta. It was I don't know. It's from they don't have them here, but it was a long roof Giulia.
Oh, really?
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it might even been a concept, but I was Googling it and I was like, that's amazing. So I found a Giulietta.
It'll
Brian,
still break
tell us-
down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Brian,
Sure, but it'd be awesome.
But you can sit and stare at it while it's broken and say,
It'll look
damn.
wonderful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll
that's a shot.
on that road, I'll be like, that's beautiful.
It's a
When
lovely
you're-
design. I wish it ran.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when you do get it to run, it's gonna sound amazing, though.
Yeah.
Brian,
Modern Maserati by Turbo.
yeah, exactly. Brian, what do you got on your list?
I'm
Mental wants to
want
have
interrupt
Ryan.
First chance to
Let-
interrupt him.
Ryan.
I'm going to
Hold on
take
in.
it, says Mental.
Brian.
I want to ask Chrissy a question. Chrissy, if
Oh,
you
right,
looked into
go ahead.
leases on the F Paces, because they have all inclusive leases, like
We
all the
don't.
maintenance included,
She drives.
and
it.
they're but
I-
it's incredibly cheap.
I don't care.
We're waiting
Okay.
until Mazda dies.
Fair enough. All right, sorry, Brian.
It's all right. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Kia Stinger GT. I must say I'm a fan. I am a owner of one of the Hyundai/Kia brands. Been very happy with how it works, and I just love the look of the thing. It when I saw it last year, or actually, I mean, it's been in the concept world for a couple years now, but it just looks great. It's got the stones to move too. I mean, the twin turbo V6. It hauls butt, but the only thing is, though, I wouldn't buy one off the lot. I'd wait 2 years because it's going to depreciate like a tuna salad sandwich in July. I mean, it's just going to
Sure.
be it's going to be a sinkhole of investment. But I'm looking forward to seeing them on the used car lots in a couple of years. But I think it's just awesome, and it's a great big bold move for Kia.
Yeah,
to
I've
move
been-
into that.
I've been quite into watching them also. There is a danger because I thought the same thing about me, maybe picking one up in a couple years. It's possible they might not sell any of them.
Oh, the
Not
same
with-
thing
not with
happened
their
with Chevy
dealer
SS.
network.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
Like the Chevy SS or the Ford RS. They might move 0 of them.
Well,
And
Chevy
then
SS
they're going to
and-
be hard to find.
Kia's biggest challenge is the Kia dealership network of some of the shadiest, sketchiest, predatory lenders on the face of the earth.
Yeah, we talked about this at one.
Don't worry, Mental. They'll get you approved even, so it's okay.
It's really pretty, though. I didn't know anything about it.
It is pretty.
I just
I'm
looked
not a
at
fan
it.
of Kia's grill. I just don't like. It looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It's like,
But then you can sing the song, and that would be amazing.
yeah.
Okay, Mental, what do you got?
Matt, so what do you got?
We're all long roof nerds. The new Buick Regal Tourex wagon. I just think that thing is a good looking car. It's interesting. They were talking about at the Gamma convention. You don't have to stand on your step ups to put anything on the roof of it. Yeah, it's a cool looking car.
While we were judging the auto show, the Atlanta Auto Show, you have a bunch of car guys, the entire Gamma board, and a bunch of judges. We all walked over to the Buick wagon and went, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just like, yes, this is what we want.
This is it.
Right here. This is it. We all climbed into it. We're all, we're automotive journalists, so we have our hands all over everything. And we're just pawing through the whole thing. We're like, yeah, we nobody had a really bad word to say about the entire car.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's something for a Buick, so good.
Yeah. The Regals were very interesting the last couple of years. The one thing that they did was, they were stick, but for the first couple of years, you could not get the V6 and the stick combination. And I actually tried to configure a Buick Tour X wagon, and you could only get 4-cylinder with the standard transmission. And I'm reading that the 4-cylinder is kind of a dog. So I'm kind of scratching that off the list. Kia Stinger, same problem, no third pedal, even though they do some crazy editing in the TV commercial to make it look like they're shifting. They are not. It is a hatch, so points for long roof for life. But I guess the Regal and the Stinger are out for me. I'm not interested in anything that's being sold at the moment. Maybe not. That's new. I should say that's new. The most interesting thing that I saw that's new, and I'm going to plug somebody else who doesn't help us ever, but Doug DeMuro, I watched a video of him driving the new Wrangler. And are you all going to make a face at me?
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Totally.
I got to say, I would never drive one and I would never own one.
All rated.
It's like Slayer. Whether you like the music or not, you got to give it to him for sticking to what's been working for hundreds of years. There was a lot of really great stuff. The window still folds. Supposedly, the suspension is not as tragic as it used to be. It's got little Jeeps all over it. It's very fun. The 3 new tops are excellent. Check out the new Jeep Wrangler if you want that kind of thing.
4-cylinder turbo.
Exactly.
Soon they're coming out with the diesel apparently for that too.
Yep. I give him a lot of credit for putting the second pair of doors on it, making it an actual vehicle that someone might live in, and then sticking to the plan.
They're going to live in it?
They are
People live in them?
They are printing money with that thing. Though.
Printing money, absolutely.
There's no new tooling in that vehicle. Chris, you've got our next question.
Yeah, this is it's lottery time. Money, no object.
Yeah.
Dream car. Jeff.
911 GT4 Cayman
Right,
GT4.
Yeah, we knew that.
It's
Fine.
Listen to any other podcast to know why it makes my pants tight. Keep going.
Okay.
Oh.
Brian.
Oh,
Speaking
I
of
do
pants tight. Yeah.
No, I will. The Cayman GT4. No. You and I agree on something here. I just went in the show notes. I made an argument with somebody at a Porsche event a couple of years ago that the Cayman was the current version of the 911 because that is that the idea back then of the early cars was fairly affordable, not overly powerful, fairly not as deadly to drive,
tremendously nimble,
very nimble.
Yes.
And I just don't get that with the new 911. To me, it feels like a boat. It's gigantic, and it's to me. And when I got in the Cayman GT4, I went, yes, this works. And
another vote of yes from Brian.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, I was at the New York Auto Show, and I was talking to one of the, watch my air quotes here, product experts in the booth, and she was incredibly attractive and had a big long dress, and I was staring at the Cayman.
Long dress?
Yes, it was like
she was like a sail. It was just so comfortable. She was just so comfortable. She was like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I was staring at the Caymans, and it was like the first time I really got a good look at the Cayman, and I said, I don't know. I've dreamt about that 911 for my entire life, but there's something about this Cayman that is better. And I don't know how to put it, but it just feels like a better list. She said, she talked to me. She actually had her product knowledge awesomely. She put me on the like high roller list, and I still get like big fat 911 and Cayman books in the mail every 6 months. So that's the end of my story.
Congratulations.
You're very chatty tonight.
He is.
It is. It's fun. It's fun.
I'd go for a McLaren 570 GT or a new NSX because, I like the one I have now, and the new one is apparently great too. So
the new one's amazing.
Those McLarens are delicate.
Yeah, but if it's new, it's under warranty, and someone will fix it for me. A man in a lab coat with an accent will come and pick it up and
work on it and then deliver it back.
He'll work on it with his spanners and his computer.
I don't think a McLaren has a warranty. I don't think McLaren has a warranty. They're like, it's a McLaren. You should.
Well, we have that
better.
much money, then. It's
right. If
fine.
I can buy one, then it's fine. Right.
True.
Right,
Chris, you have to work an Extreme Experience event just so you can drive the NSX. It is that amazing.
I would love to. Yeah.
I know.
I'll drive mine there too. That'd be fine.
If you'd have told me up until or asked me this question right up until last week, I would have said without hesitation a Singer interpretation of the 911. But if you
took
follow,
my answer.
If you took Sam, I'm not because I'm not taking that answer.
Okay, fine.
If you follow Sam Smith on Instagram, that Sam Smith, he was at the new Rough factory where they're building the new carbon tubbed fiber rough 911s that look like the ones from the.
Chris, can I have a German pronunciation?
It's roof. Yeah,
it's roof. Thank you.
And so the ones you're talking about though are the ones that are replicating Yellowbird, right?
Yes,
okay.
But they're
the first thing that came in my mind.
Mm-hmm. But they're new. They're all new from scratch, and they're made to look like Yellowbirds. And if you go to Sam Smith's Instagram and look back on all of them, that makes me feel all kinds of tingly, like when you climb the rope at gym class.
Nice, Brian. What do you got?
I'm going to go old school. I'm going to say the Chrysler turbine car. There's only two in private hands, so there's still hope. So it's got to hope that when they liquidate Jay Leno's collection passes away, I'll hopefully have enough money by then. But
I'd like to mention that Brian is a nut job, but he's my kind of nut job.
It's been one of my favorite cars for years. I was lucky enough to be at Amelia Island a couple of years ago when the Chrysler Museum brought theirs, and they cranked it and drove it around, and I was in heaven. Absolutely amazing. I got to stick my head inside. It looks all the details, all the jet age details in that car are just to die for, and it's just a shame.
I remember 100 years ago reading an article about the turbine in Car and Driver, and somebody said that they had the hubcaps on their desk, and they were using them as ashtrays, and the cleaning people threw them out because they were so hard to clean because they were like big fins of turbines, and they were like, that was automotive history. Whatever.
And Chrysler beat those things to death for years. They rally raced them.
Yeah.
In places. I mean, they really did a full test program. It'd run on anything. So, that's my dream.
I'm down for turbine. Mental, you got the next question.
Now,
actually, before that, you skipped Chrissy, Jeff.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see. Go on.
I lost over 8090s Porsche 911, so I wanted the Singer 911, and I'm going to make mine a Targa. I don't think they come in Targas, but since I have all the monies...
They just
good.
Built one. They just built the first one.
Good. Well, all the pictures I was looking at were not Targas, so I decided I'm just going to make mine a Targa. And then I'm thinking green or brown, although most of the colors, when you Google it, it's glorious. So sign me up.
Porsches look great in green or brown. Absolutely.
Oh, they do.
Absolutely.
Chrissy's a nut job, but she's my kind of nut job.
I was like, where are you going with this?
No, that sounds good to me. Mental, you got the next question. Sorry, I jumped you last time, Chrissy.
No problem.
Why don't you go first this time? Go, Mental.
I will
ask your question.
So, we're talking about what newish car do you like that's under $35,000, and then go ahead and just play the devil's advocate. What do you like over $35,000? Daily driver, untitled car show type rules. This is it. This is the only car you get. You don't get to augment it with anything.
Mazda 3. Have to go it. I love them, and they're amazing. And apparently, they're coming out with a new one soon, new body style, and a new engine. You said
Yeah, they're coming out with the Skyactiv X, which is a
seems incredible
compression ignition
I want that.
gas engine. Which when that comes out, we'll talk more about it. But that's some pretty amazing technology that people haven't really worked on yet. So good.
So
yeah, I can't believe the things I'm reading about that compression ignition motor.
We'll see.
So, Chrissy, very important question: long roof or trunk?
Oh, come on. I had a long roof before you had the long roof.
No,
come on.
I had my Protege 5.
No.
That was long.
I lusted after those for a while, actually. Protege 5.
I put 225,000 miles on mine on the stock clutch from Mazda, living in North Jersey in all of the traffic, and then I crashed it into a Honda.
Okay, so my over 35 is a E63 wagon. Chris did write this before I came up with my answer, and I was like, duh, this is happening. So, yes, that's my over.
Oh, yes.
I know where one of those is hiding right now, actually.
Yes.
There's always one on a trailer.
One nut job to another. What's Brian want?
I'm going to have to say the Focus ST. A couple of years ago, I drove one all the way from here to Tulsa, Oklahoma and back, beat it on Hallett Raceway, took it to the drag strip, and I just could not believe how comfortable that car was and how capable it was in my awful, awful driving hands. So for $25,000, I'd pick that up and spend another $10,000 on driving instruction from you guys to learn how to drive it.
With or without the Recaros in the Focus?
Oh, the Recaros, of course.
Oh, yeah.
No, actually, I don't like them as much. We'll get to it in mine. Go on.
Okay.
That's because we're thin and pretty.
Well, Jeff, if you want to start there,
I am scrawny.
No, he's still got his over to do.
Oh, sorry.
And for over, I'm going for the Raptor, mainly because I am a dad, and I think this would be the ultimate dadmobile. I got 3 kids. I know I can fit them all in the back, and I have actually ridden one of these when it was at SEMA a few years ago, and they aired it out, put a couple feet of underneath us in a jump and landed it, and that's a production vehicle. Wow. So, I mean, it was an awesome vehicle to ride in. It's only gotten better. So,
all right, well, I'll go next. I will say why I will take my Focus ST without the Recaros. They're not comfortable. Maybe it's just because my butt's too wide. My Focus ST a used one will probably be my next daily driver. I know where there is a white one up in Staten Island that is being cared for very well by a friend. He has a baby, little girl. I don't remember her name at the moment. She'll probably yell at me for not remembering. But I told him, as soon as your wife says you can no longer own this, and the Ford dealership makes you a really stupid offer, you call me and I'll match it. So, Focus ST probably my next car. Used probably just because I'm that kind of guy. Over $35,000, it's the Giulia, the Quadra Folgolio Giulia. If I have that kind of money, I can actually maybe afford to fix it every now and then, but probably not.
You just want to listen to it.
I do.
It does make glorious sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Chris.
Under 35,000, I would take the Civic Type R. As an old Honda fanboy, it's just barely squeezed into 35.
It's a good choice.
But everything I've read about it says it is just phenomenal. I mean, from the way they changed the whole geometry of the front suspension for the Type R to the fast spool turbo motor. I'll even get over the wacky transformer aerodynamics that are actually functional on that car, just for the performance and practicality that it has. Over 35, I'm thinking the new AMG GT sedan that they're rolling out right now. It's kind of the spiritual successor to my CLS 63.
I'm Googling right now.
Yeah, they're no longer going to make the CLS 63 because they are making this AMG GT sedan. So so the AMG GT is hot enough, and now making it a sedan so you can actually make it practical every day. Especially if Chrissy takes my idea for the E63 S wagon, I'm going to go this way.
That's pretty sexy. I just looked at it on Google.
Yeah,
I'll take one of those. I agree.
Go ahead, Mental.
All right, under 35K, I'm taking a Mustang GT with the Recaros, Jeff. With the Recaros.
No, Mustang Recaros I like.
Yeah, and of course, in the track pack, and no other options. In over 35K, I'm going to go with the Dodge Charger, the 4-door 392, because as I wrote in the notes, I'm a redneck and I like doing burnouts, as you may listen to here. That is my brother's Dodge Charger 392 that he insisted I do a burnout in. So, Yeah.
I like that you should just read what you actually wrote.
Because I are a redneck and smoky burnouts are awesome.
Thank you.
Hold my beer.
Oh, my bear.
All right, next question. Let's go.
Chrissy, go.
What's the new car you would buy as a street legal track toy? Brian, you're up.
I'm going to go back to the Focus ST. I am not a very good racer, and even if you try to turn off some of the nanny systems on that car, it'll still keep you from putting yourself into the wall for the most part. So it makes you feel like I'm a decent driver, which I'm definitely not. But after wheeling it around a racetrack under anger for a couple of days, absolutely amazing things you can do for a simple person like me.
And Hallett will bite you if you do not pay attention at Hallett. They've got a turn that they call the bitch.
The bitch.
It'll put you in the tire wall.
The bitch. Yep.
Yeah, every time.
Look for the light bulb. Look for the light bulb. So, but yeah, that car, absolutely. I took that car to a track day out there, and I had Mustang guys crawling all over it while I was waiting, looking at what the hell is that thing? What did you do to it? I'm telling, it's stock. It's bone stock. It was absolutely, it's a hoot. It makes it could be a little louder, but
you can make it.
You could do that.
Make that.
Yeah.
Easy to fix. Easy to fix.
Hacksaw. Woo!
All right,
Mental, tell us about your track toy.
Track toys got to be rear-wheel drive. They have to be manual transmissions. I would take a Corvette Grand Sport, not the Z06,
Good choice.
not the ZR1. Last year at Extreme Experience at Atlanta Motorsports Parks, Cal Denisi said, "Hey, Mental, go drive the Corvette Grand Sport because Extreme always has a Corvette kicking around their fleet." And he says, "It is as fast around this track as the GT3." And I gave him the eyebrow up on that one. But Cal doesn't BS, and I got into the car. It's less power, more tire. He was not kidding. That Corvette Grand Sport would keep up with a 911 GT3 at Atlanta Motorsports Park. That is a great interpretation of a Corvette, Brian.
Yeah. And you won't see as many of them toting around folding lawn chairs and old paunchy guys looking like me with Hawaiian shirts. So
exactly.
I was just going to say it's perfect for Mental as a middle-aged gentleman with a really dirty-looking mustache. I would think a Corvette is the perfect choice
for those who can't see at home.
All right.
Okay.
100% of the Corvette owners on this podcast do not have cheesy mustaches. I'd like to mention that.
Okay.
Will you help me find my
Go,
puppy?
Chrissy.
Civic Type R, front drive, attach. It's fast, and it's what if I think of what I love on the track now is our car, and it's better than that. So that's what I'm going.
Great. I'm really glad that you all took everything I was going to say, because I was going to say Corvette, I was going to say ST, I was going to say Type R.
You updated the show notes last. I watched you do it this afternoon, so you took all of our stuff. You took our stuff.
But actually, I'm going to go low power. I'm going to go cheap on the consumables. Mazda Miata or BRZ. Bam. Track toy.
Good one. Boom.
Manual, rear-wheel drive. Love it.
Chris? I agree with the nice, easy on the consumables. That's why I want lightweight. I want purity. I want an aerial atom. If it's just a track toy, I don't need things like windows. I don't need doors. I don't need any of that stuff.
Chris, I didn't know this was a game of
that's
who
a
picks
track
best.
I know the answer to this in Georgia, but what's the answer of, is that street legal in Pennsylvania?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, totes. You should get one of those.
Mm-hmm. Around here, though.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
All right.
We get the local guy here who makes these things called an exo set.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, I've definitely thought about abandoning my never started Lotus project for an exo set. But I just like the looks of the Lotus 7 better.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, an exo set is basically a Miata taken apart, put on a tube frame.
Go-kart. Yeah.
Go-kart. Brian, you got the fifth question. Shout it out.
Oh, what are the go-to cars you constantly suggest for random coworkers, aging relatives, and new parents who know nothing about cars but need something good?
I actually just had this conversation, so I'm going to jump in. A friend who has a new baby and a husband and no money says, "Oh, we need to get rid of our Hyundai Santa Fe," which you already know how I feel about. So she started listing all the worst things in the world, including a Rogue with that glass transmission and a Ford Escape, and I just, oof. It's a CX-5. The CX-5 is the go-to thing. It has been for years, but I'm going to put in a plug for the new Toyota Camry. Mental told us about the new handling characteristics. It's been talked about as the better handler than the BMW, and I followed one today, and it looked really good. What I'm hearing about the drivability, if they're affordable, it might replace the Mazda 3, not in my stable, but in the immediate recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Really
No
well
longer,
equipped,
so
too. Yeah.
it'll never be in my.
I totally agree about the CX-5, hence why I suggested my mom buy one recently, and she did, and she thinks it's great, and she's coming out of an E46 wagon, so it's a big change for her. So that or Mazda 6, you can't go wrong with any of those. Otherwise, a Honda, a CR-V, or an Accord. I mean, the Accords and the Camry, they're great cars, and same with the CR-V. It's like
No
an
brainer.
anvil. Right, reliable as gravity. It'll do everything normal people need it to do. It's just going to work, and it's going to work every time. Brian, what's up?
And
The new Accord looks great, too.
Yeah.
It's got a mail slot for a trunk, but it looks awesome.
I'll have to check out the new Accord when I go to the show this weekend. But go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. I mean,
Yeah, that's it. It's just pick your choice of Mazda, Honda, or Toyota midsize sedan or small SUV, and they're good.
You'll win.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah. Mental, go ahead.
So I'm going to say Camry too. It used to be the Camry was the I've given up car, but Camry's kind of taken that culture and they put a lot of really neat, interesting features in there for, hey, look, we get it. You're not a car person. You don't want to worry about the car, but you still want to enjoy the time that you have to spend in there. And they've done a great job of making those Camrys really interesting, very comfortable, very well equipped for almost no money. I genuinely think it's better than the Accord. I do.
There it is. I'll be honest, the Camry always looked like crap and the Accord looked great. So if they cared what it looked like, you'd always say the Accord. If they just wanted to run forever, you said Camry. But who knows? They both look great now. Yeah. Brian, what do you got?
Skip Chrissy again, Jeff. Thanks.
I was gonna say-
I'm sorry.
Can
Oh my
you
God.
not see
It's
pink?
something about the color. Go, Chrissy, you go.
I haven't changed it. I'm going CX-5. Done. Or Mazda 3 if they want a sedan long roof, but and not an SUV. But I also just made the suggestion recently to a coworker, and she took another route. So, yep, there's that.
What did she pick?
Oh, it's a Subaru.
CVT.
I'm not against a Subaru.
I
My
know
wife's
you're not, 'cause
Subaru
you have
really
one.
well,
That's
so.
a-
I grilled you at Atlanta.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
It's one thing. Like, it's okay. You could do worse. It could be a Hyundai
It
Tucson.
definitely works.
Absolutely. So for those of you who haven't heard, my wife crashed her Mazda CX-5 and replaced it with a Subaru Forester, and the sportiness went down, but she gets just as good gas mileage. We haven't had a tick of problem with it. So even though I preferred the CX-5, we're stuck in the Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
Go, Brian.
All right, Brian.
I'm going to join on the bandwagon. It's Camry all day long. And I thought Mental actually was going to. I said something the other day, and he wrote it down. I was expecting him to spit that the other day.
I forgot to do that.
My comment was, no car guy ever expects to see himself buying a Camry. And that's what I drive. I have a Camry. I got money to buy one. And I recommend that to most people around me. And if you don't have enough money to buy a Camry, go get a Corolla. If you have more money than you need, go buy a Lexus ES. It just seems down that line. Unfortunately, much like everybody else, I'm sure, I give this advice, and everybody goes out and buys an Audi or
a Mitsubishi Outlander.
Yes, or a Mitsubishi Mirage or something else.
Oh God, an Endeavor,
a Mirage.
Or they get a screaming deal on a luxury vehicle that has had zero maintenance done on it.
It's a 5-year-old Audi A8 with 78,000 miles, but look at it. It's
what
great.
could possibly go wrong?
It's only $2,500. So
I have been an Audi owner. I still love them. Wouldn't touch one with a 10-foot pole.
I owned 2 Volkswagens at the same time.
How many check engine lights did you have on at the same time?
All of them.
Both of them, yeah.
Both of them.
I usually sum up my experiences saying, I wish I'd burned them to the ground before I sold them. I would have been happier. I hated the vehicles with passion.
Let's wrap this up. Anybody have anything else they want to say about any new car out there in the world? Go.
Meh.
Crickets. Let's move on. Hella sweet or but terrible.
So
Mental.
on the subject,
you have
on the
once
subject
again
of,
brought us something. Go.
yes, on the subject of high mileage German cars that are just a completely bad idea, there's this Porsche Boxster for $4,500. Chewed up interior, 133,000 miles. Guy bought it like a year old, drove it until he just bought a new Boxster.
What are you going to do with it?
Scuffs and scratches. Instead of a Miata, that would be the track toy.
98. What's with the IMS on the 98? Somebody help me out here.
Oh,
Well,
there.
it's the 7%.
Till they're not.
Yeah. I talked to a guy, Bradley Brownell said, consider it a wear item and just get it replaced. You could pick up a new one for about $400 or $500. You could buy the tool for another $400 or $500, do it yourself, or have it done for about $400 or $500.
Yeah, I thought I was hearing about $1,000 for the IMS. I would do. I mean, I'm going to chime in first here and say this is the first thing you've ever brought us that wasn't the worst idea ever.
It's bad idea, Jason.
I'm going to vote up for this. I think you buy it knowing that you got to do the IMS bearing, knowing that you're going to be able to find replacement interior parts. I'm saying go for it.
Or
Josh is going for it too.
Gut the interior.
Or gut the interior, but yeah. What's everybody else think?
Chrissy?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I've never driven them on track, so I don't know how they compare. So I can't say. It looks fine. Sure. It's not the worst you brought.
Brian?
Yeah, I'd say it's doable. It's not usually the words cheap Porsche are words of doom.
Yes.
But this one I could either see being stripped down as a track car, or even if you got an LS sitting around somewhere and want to pick off the whining
Then it won't
crowd.
that plan.
So I could see that. Or if you wanted it to be the coolest kid in high school, that's almost cheap enough for a high school kid car.
To beat that.
Chris, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to give it a solid meh. And here's why. You can get bottom of the range, similar condition Boxster S's for not much more, and the S is so much more car.
I'm going to adamantly disagree. You can't even find 98 Boxsters for less than $6,000. There were exactly the one you sent me without a transmission. The guy wanted $3,000 for.
Yeah, but you said a transmission is $500. You do the IMS bearing at the same time. There you go. You're into it for the same money, and you have an S.
And you're doing a lot of the work, so
and
you
the
know
S
it's
is
been done.
It's got the bigger motor, the bigger brakes, the extra gear in the transmission, the bigger wheels, the oil coolers, like all the stuff that you want for the track anyway.
You can get an S in Jersey all day long for $7,500.
Yeah.
That's a significantly more amount of money.
Yeah, but
but I'm saying
the
all
value,
day long.
the value for the money.
You can probably find one for $6,000. Is what I'm saying.
I like the LS idea.
LS. I don't have $7,000.
Okay.
Well, I don't think, and just to say, Brian, like you said, the cheapest Porsche is the worst Porsche. This is kind of what they're trading for. Ratty non-S Boxsters are
The
$5,000.
earliest ones, yeah.
Yeah, the earliest ones are. This is just the market.
I keep waiting to try to find a $2,500 one that's really, really tragic to then try to sell off some stuff to make it a Lemons car or something, just because that would anger
It's
many
coming.
people. Oh yeah,
it's coming up.
And then when the engine blows up, replace it with a Subaru.
No,
Totally.
no, something much worse, like a Pentastar. No, I'd want to put I'd put a Honda V6 in it. Honda V6.
Case swap it.
Right.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that at least I got 3 mez and a thumbs up because it's mine. I'm getting it Saturday.
You're getting it Saturday.
I went and drove it, and basically it's a couple
What?
of guys. And he told me the whole story of it. They went through mechanically, sound it, and he said, "Yeah, I've got 4 people coming to look at it, but I like you because you're polite." So yeah, I gave him a deposit, and I'm getting it Saturday.
He liked you even if with that mustache?
Even, especially
Wow.
with mustache.
He said, "Get this guy away from my daughter."
He's like, "You're really creepy. I gotta go."
Mental, I'm backing you up. I don't think this is a horrible idea. Yes, you could have had an S, but this is like a Miata, but a little quicker.
Yeah,
Bam.
that's why I said meh. That's why it was
it's
meh.
not a bad idea.
Not bad, but meh. Okay.
Speaking of bad ideas,
this is a good idea.
Let's move on to our favorite part of the show. Just
the
tip.
I'm a little sad that this was a bad idea. So,
did you see Josh though participate in the Just the Tip? That was a good idea.
okay, so since we've had this whole show all about car shows, we're gonna have how to stay safe and healthy when you're attending the car show.
I like this.
How to make sure you're having a great time. So my first thing was clean your hands. So I started this with use hand sanitizer, and then I remembered that Mental just hates hand sanitizer and thinks it's useless, and it might be. So then just wash your hands and don't open all the doors and then lick your hands and that kind of stuff. So lots of people are touching lots of things.
She's talking to you, Jeff. Stop.
You're gonna touch all of those things too. So just don't put your hands in your face.
Cough on the door handles.
Well, people are doing that, and then you're going to go touch them. So
they are.
Dress in layers, because your chances are you're going to have to walk from your car, you're going to have to walk from somewhere, and then it's usually really hot in the room because there's lots of people and big lights making everything look nice and pretty. Make sure you have good walking shoes because you're going to be on your feet all day, and then when you sit in the corner midday is just so satisfying. So yeah, I love that part. Bring a drink and a snack because lines are long, food's expensive. Maybe you should bring a flask or some wine in a box. Do any of those things. And pretty much watch for idiots that aren't looking where they're going because...
Or may have spent the whole car show drinking.
Maybe so. So people are looking at things and they're not watching where they're going, so you should watch out for where they're going. And then watch your tripping hazards because the cords are under carpets and they get bunched up and then you could trip and fall and that'd be sad. So just don't lick your hands. Watch where you're going, watch other people, and have a great time. But have a great time.
This is actually one of my favorite Just the Tips ever. I didn't read ahead. I had no idea what you were saying. I just wanted to say Just the Tip was a bad idea in general. But
no
anyway,
one likes it.
Never a bad idea.
No one likes Just the Tip. I was trying to do the
likes
fun
it, but
thing.
everyone needs it.
Oh, okay.
needs
Now I
it,
shouldn't have taken
absolutely.
this offense. I got it.
Yeah. But that's all right because you owe a smack in the head to me anyway for skipping you all show. Does anyone have anything else to say? I think we should just shut up and let Chrissy yell at me for a minute.
Brian, thanks for going out there to your office and signing on with us and giving up some of your time. I know you're busy. You've got a couple little ones there at the house, so we appreciate you coming down here.
Yeah, Brian,
fun.
free
Thanks,
plug
guys.
time.
Great.
Yeah, Brian, where can we find all of your work?
Well, usually the Napa Know-How blog, and also I got a little website called AskMyCarGuys.com.
Oh, excellent! All right. We're going to put a link to that one
What
up.
kind of information is Ask My Car Guys?
It's basically my friend Chris Howd and I. People always ask us questions, and we decided that we were just going to start taking all the questions people ask us and putting them online and try to cut down some of the repeat offenders. So kind of stuff of what
car should I buy?
Bingo. So
There you go. Just listen to our show, and then we'll tell you.
There you go. Well, I guess that's about the end. Thank you for downloading us. Thank you for joining us, Brian. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please push the subscribe button on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any questions or want to give us some show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers. If you'd rather not venture into the void that is the Book of Faces so they can steal all of your information, bonus points if you happen to have an iPhone these days, just drop us an email at everyone.racers@gmail.com or find us on Instagram or Twitter, everyone.racers. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless there is no shiny side because you drive a piece of crap, then just keep the wheels down.